Today, I'm going to be playing the better Minecraft 1.18 update. I know what you're probably thinking, but Sbeev, it's already pretty good, and that's true, it is a really good update, but it could still be better. I'll be using the Terralith datapack, which adds dozens of new biomes and terrain generation features to the game, and when you combine it with the 1.18 terrain generation, you get some pretty amazing landscapes. And the best thing about it is that it's completely vanilla. There's no mods involved, all the blocks in the new biomes are just reused vanilla blocks, and it looks super amazing. And if you want to try it out for yourself, I put a link to the datapack download on CurseForge in the description. You can also get it from like Planet Minecraft, I think, and some other places. And if you guys like the better Minecraft 1.18 update, then be sure to drop a like and hit that subscribe button down below. I also don't usually mention this, but I have a Patreon account where I host a modded server for patrons to play on. It's with the Nuclear Age and Beyond mod pack, so if you're looking for a community to play on with that mod pack, you can go and join my Patreon down below in the description as well. I got kind of lucky for the spawn of this world. It ended up being next to a big ocean with a little plains biome and a village, and off in the distance there were some big hills that had a bunch of trees and looked very interesting to go explore. Ooh, what have we here? Is this a little cave? Is this a little cave down here or something? Oh, that's really spooky looking. Oh, there's just like a little pond and you can like swim over to the other side of this hill. That's so cool. Oh, hello, you're one of the useless villagers. You're a nitwit. Don't care. Anything good? Oh my god, you have mending. No way. That's insane. Like what luck is that? You need to get trapped in a house somewhere. You need to be very safe. You are a mending boy, a naturally spawned mending boy. Here, go get in the house. Stay there. I even blocked off the second story doors just in case. There, you can't even get out your balcony now. There's no way you're gonna die. There's lights in there. As far as I'm aware, you should be completely safe. As I was exploring the village to find chests, I found the nitwit taking a swim in that little like water cave area that I found earlier. So far, no chests. This isn't very ideal. I kind of need some food. Oh, it's another librarian. Okay, you don't have mending. That's not as cool. You are not worth trapping in the house, so you will continue to have your freedom for now. Seriously, no loot. That's kind of unfortunate. I think all my luck got used up on the mending villager. I decided to make a boat real fast so I could go exploring around the base of this cliff, because there's a bunch of rivers and parts of the ocean that would allow me to travel inland pretty easily. Ooh, I can use some food from these. If you could just move out of the way, squid, please. I don't want to have to end you. Please move. Okay, good job. I encountered multiple giant crevices in the cliff face, but most of them were too dark and or led to caves that I did not want to explore at that time. It would appear that the sun is setting much faster than I expected it would, and I don't really have a place to live. And I seem to have neglected acquiring a bed from that village. Maybe I'll go back and grab one. I wouldn't mind checking out this cave though. This looks very cool and very dark. Oh, there's an enderman over there. I can see the particles. This is so spooky. Oh, that's a spider. I might have to turn the shaders off for caving. It's a little bit dark. Oh, look, you can see those eyes. Minecraft actually feels scary again. The moment I turned around and saw the setting sun on those cliffs, I knew that that's where I wanted to live. I need to put my house up there on the cliff with a big porch so that I could have an amazing view. As it turned out, the sun not only shined on that cliff as it set, but the moon also rose from behind it at night. Speaking of nighttime, I decided to return back to the village to sleep in a bed there because I had forgotten to grab one, and I didn't have one of my own either, and I certainly wasn't going to spend the night outside when it was super dark and mobs were about. The next morning, I returned back to the river and tried to climb up one of the little cliff faces. I guess not little, it's pretty large, so I could get to the top of it and see what was above. Although it took a little while because the cliff was pretty steep. I did some playing around with the shader settings and eventually managed to get my sky texture pack to load on top of the shaders. Which means that it's going to be looking pretty nice next time nighttime arrives, which won't be for a little bit, which is good because I wanted to explore the top of this cliff. It pretty much just ended up being kind of a plateau. It went slowly upward. I found various little ravines and things that cut through the terrain, and eventually I reached an area that was covered in snow close to the mountaintop. I wasn't entirely sure if these custom biomes would generate with powder snow or not, so I decided just to be careful if I couldn't see what was underneath the snow, because I did not want to end up dying to freezing in snow. Whoa, it's like all like Yellowstone over there. I think there actually is a biome called Yellowstone in this data pack. I think that's what that is right over there. I've been to Yellowstone one time and that's exactly what it looked like, at least the very, very similar color. I found some little bits of iron scattered around the top of the mountain, and after I grabbed that, I headed back down the side of the mountain, like the other side from where I'd gone up. I eventually reached this rocky plateau that was kind of barren of trees, and I found a huge cave in the middle of it that was extremely deep and dangerous looking. Oh man, that's really deep. I've no idea how far down that goes. The only way I might be able to figure it out is by throwing a torch down there. The torch did allow me to see the bottom, but only marginally better than I could already. I found a few other cave entrances that were a little bit lit up based on the angle of the sun, but the second the sun went away, they'd be pitch black. I continued off back into the woods, and I found this little gully, which kind of ended with like a tree and a little dead end. I don't know if it may have continued on the other side, but it was kind of an interesting formation. Eventually I came out of the woods and encountered another plains biome before the ocean shore. There are a bunch of animals here, which is good because I didn't have very much food at that time other than a few sweet berries, which are not very good. Even with a high chunk render distance, I couldn't see what was on the other side of that ocean. All I knew was that there was a giant floating island in the sky, which I somehow didn't notice for a little while, but I have to go up there at some point. Not right now though, because the sun was setting and I was about to get stuck outside with no bed again. But on the bright side, I could get to see the full effect of my sky texture pack at night. I ended up just making a little work area underneath this overhang, which was a little bit safer than being out in the middle of the open. I also got attacked by a baby zombie after I made a beacon on top of this hill. I then decided to conduct an experiment that gave me some rather interesting results. I threw a few torches down into the water, and it turned out that the ocean was much deeper right here than you would expect, being so close to the shore. There must have been some giant cave or something. I figured I may as well make a little safer inside the hill, as I had nothing better to do while I waited for the night to end. I also discovered another interesting feature of that island in that it apparently eclipses the moon when it's in the right position. I noticed that the torches I'd thrown into the ocean to check the depth had floated to the surface, so I decided to get them, and I did discover that there was some various cave openings down here that were very deep looking. I had no idea how far they went. The sun cast a really cool glow off of the floating island. That thing just does all kinds of cool stuff. We'll have to check that out at some point. But daytime had arrived and I was headed back to the original cliff area where I wanted to work on a house. It took me a while to traverse the ridge back to roughly where I wanted to be, but eventually I found a spot that was kind of flat and would be decent to put a house on. I started by making my porch with the materials that I already had on hand, but I didn't have a lot and I wasn't about to go get more because it was almost nighttime. I decided I'd just go back to the village and grab a bed so that I could sleep wherever I wanted to. I don't even know how far away that is, but I can see down there. There's a little glow squid. Oh, there's like a whole cave here under this river. I have no idea how big it is, but there's drowned. Oh, there's the drown right there. Okay, we're gonna leave. I want to just go sleep. I nabbed a bed from a random village house and contributed to the overall well-being of the village by killing a zombie for them because Iron Golem was apparently nowhere to be found. And on my way back, I encountered more drowned and more glow squid back at the base of the cliff where my house was situated. No, there's a drown in my boat. Get out of here. It was no mean feat climbing back up the cliff in the dark, but after a lot of struggling, I managed it, and I was able to get back to my porch. I was about to say house, but it's not really a house, it's a porch. And I was able to sleep and begin my material gathering the next morning. Sand, I scuba dive for the sand. I need this for glass for my house, which is partially done. Ooh, Enderman. Hello, I don't have a boat for you. But that can be remedied. No, come back. Where'd you go, Enderman? Enderman, I wanted to put you in the boat. It was gonna be great. You're gonna have a great time in the boat. Dang it. That's not great. I hope that's not a thunderstorm. Hopefully it's just normal rain. I don't really know what the difference is with these shaders on. Thunderstorm or not, it was certainly dark enough under the various overhangs and cave openings in this plains biome for mobs to spawn, and they did in large numbers. I really do not need to be out right now. I don't have like any food left. I need to go back to my house. I spent the last few days working on this path in addition to my house, so I have a mostly cleared way back along this ridge to where my house is located. No, my bed's getting soaking wet along with everything else here. I need a roof. I need a lot of stuff. I need food. I've been surviving off sweet berries. It's not the greatest food source, especially when you can die trying to harvest it. I used the sand I'd gathered earlier in the day to make glass for my windows, and I spent the rest of that night in the rain putting up a roof so that I could hopefully improve the viewing experience for you guys with the YouTube compression in the rain, because those two things do not go well together. Oh, it's just so cozy in here now. I can sit in here in my nice, toasty little house. It's not too big, not too small. I can look out at the rain and all the enemies. There's so many of them, I can totally see a lot of them right now. But meanwhile, while I reside in this house, I am completely safe as far as I'm aware. I can go out onto my porch if I want, which still needs a railing. And we can look out. And I'm actually not going to do that because I want to spare you guys the viewing experience. So instead we are going to sleep. And then go out on the porch. Ah yes, a fresh clear morning. The porch is a little bit wet still, but it'll dry off in no time. Now we can actually admire the house in the daylight with no mobs around. And I'd say it looks pretty decent for pretty much being built only out of 2 wood types. I tried to fix my lack of stuff that day by gathering some more wood from various trees located around my house, and I also started a little chicken farm down in that plains biome, so maybe I could get some eggs and chicken and stuff like that. Oh, now I am big poor in iron. I have like no iron, which is why now that we have a nice little house with a finished porch and everything, it's time to go to the mines. We have to go and acquire ourselves some resources. This is the Caves and Cliffs update after all. It wouldn't be right if we didn't go in some caves. I definitely needed to go in some caves, but not these caves. These caves were a little bit too big, a little bit too dark for me. The only thing that I was able to get from these caves right here was some free leather and leads. I also disabled the shaders that I had. I switched to some other shaders which aren't quite as dark so I could see a little bit better into the caves. And yes, the sky is supposed to be that color. It's a biome specific thing as far as I'm aware. I could definitely see better into this big cave, but I still wasn't going to go down there. It was a little bit too big for what I wanted to do. I decided to go explore the Yellowstone area. I figured there might be some caves around there, maybe some smaller ones I could start with. And I eventually found some like ravines and stuff like that that didn't look too bad at first. After a little bit of exploring, I found a way down into some deeper caves. It wasn't super big, but I had to cross over this really deep ravine, which definitely would have meant death had I fallen down there. I also discovered I was in a thermal cave biome, which is apparently a thing that the datapack adds. Later, I came upon this super deep shaft that went all the way down to deep slate level, so clearly to Y0 and beyond that. But the only way down was through this waterfall, so I slowly descended it. I gathered some ore as I went down, but there were also mobs waiting for me at the bottom, which I had to take care of before I could start exploring. I thought I found a lush cave biome right here when I saw this clay, but it was just like some weird clay formation in the thermal caves. Oh wow, that's a lot of lava. There's a lot more lava than I thought was here. Oh, that poor zombie. He's just gone. In various parts, the cave continued down even deeper, and there was a lot of ore scattered around, but none of it was super valuable. There was barely any redstone, and there were no diamonds, at least not that I'd found at that time. Oh, whoa, glow squid. Clearly, at least one died as well, because I just picked up glowing sacks. No, no, get back in the water, get back in the water. Stop drowning. No, not the glow squid. After a little while of running around, I got myself into a little bit of a sticky situation, which was partially caused by my lack of armor. very much time to leave. I've had enough. I'm ready to get out. No food, barely any food remaining. Only rotten flesh. I must say, I was hoping to find some diamond down there, but alas, no diamond to be had down in the depths of the thermal caves. Yeah, no diamonds. That was a little bit disappointing, but at least I did manage to get a lot of iron and lapis and a little bit of gold and other stuff like that, so I would be pretty set on tools for a while. Unfortunately, I didn't really remember how to get back to my house. Obviously, I could use the coordinates just to go back towards 00, which eventually I did, but I did look around at the scenery for a little while before doing that. It didn't take too long, though, going back towards spawn to encounter the mountaintop that I'd originally found, which was pretty close to my house. And I made it back just as the sun was setting and almost fell into a lava pool that I hadn't even realized was right outside my door. And that's where we're gonna have to wrap up this video. We had a mostly successful mining trip, and now I can make all the stuff, or almost all the stuff I would need back in my nice house. But if you guys want me to do another video on this world, I guess just let me know down in the comments, drop a like, and I'll potentially do another one. But that's gonna be all for this video. Thanks for watching. I've been Sbeev, and I'll see you in the next video or live stream. Bye.